Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Andrew Sevillia, who is the Customer Marketing Director at Sage Intacct. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you for having me.
I would love to hear more about what you do because I think you have such a fun job, talking to customers, creating wonderful testimonials. What is there not to love, right? It's all positive energy.
Yeah, for sure. Every company now needs to have somebody who's out there broadcasting their customer stories. If you think about the promises that companies make when they're in the sales cycle, well, guess what? The customers are actually the ones that are proving that you can deliver on those promises that you make. And so you're right. I have a fantastic job where I get to connect with customers every day to hear and learn about who they are, what they do, and how they're using our technology. Really what we're trying to document is the challenges that they had with their previous application. How did those challenges limit them or hinder their growth? What are the vendors that they considered when they were making a purchase decision? And then ultimately, why did they select our software? And what are some of the benefits that they've recognized since going live with Sage Intacct? And then these stories get used in a number of different ways. I mean, obviously, we're supporting our PR team to make sure that they're continually pushing out these stories and making sure that all the journalists and analysts and that sort of thing know about who we are and what we do. And then obviously, we've got a demand gen team that's looking to leverage and utilize these stories to attract prospective customers. And then, obviously our sales folks and our web team and various folks across the business are looking for data around how our customers are successful, again, using our software. So it's a wonderful job. I love doing it. I think I have the best job in marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sage is a big company, right? But Sage Intacct is just a part of that company, and you guys provide accounting software. That means that a lot of the clients you're interviewing are actual CPA folks, right? Very number-oriented people. So I remember doing these kind of interviews years ago, back before we had social media, right? Before blogging was the in thing too. So nowadays, I feel like you have so many channels to then promote these stories.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, gone are the days of capturing these stories and then posting them to your website and hoping people found them. Now we've got a whole process around how do we promote these stories, where do they go, providing them to analysts and different publications, providing opportunities for analysts and press folks to actually take these stories as sort of a precursor to having an interview of their own with these customers. And so you're right. I mean, across all of our social channels, obviously our website, obviously email marketing. There's just a number of different ways that these stories get broadcast to a broad audience. So, yeah.
Well, that also brings a lot of challenges too, because it's so noisy out there, right? And you're probably leveraging a lot of technologies to kind of gather from social networks to hear what they're saying, and from review sites and all that, so that you can collect those comments and then leverage that because it's already in public domain, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, we are closely monitoring our customer reviews across a couple of different sites. We primarily focus on G2, TrustRadius, and Gartner Peer Insights. So we're reading those reviews and we're trying to understand who those customers are. We almost look at that as like a signal that a customer is sending out saying, hey, we're having a good experience with your software. And so that's an opportunity for me to have a conversation with that customer. Hey, I noticed you wrote a review on G2. We'd like to learn more about you, your business, and how you're using Sage Intacct. So that's one example of a signal. Another would be like, the NPS data. So we're mining that to sort of try to identify which customers, again, are having a good experience so that we can connect with them and learn more and hopefully, capture a case study or a press release, that sort of thing. I mean, there's a number of channels and signals that we're monitoring, right? Yeah, so that's a great point that you brought up, Jessica.
So the other thing I want to ask you is how do you get them to actually share? Because a lot of customers may have good things to say, but they don't necessarily want to participate and give you that information, right? How do you motivate them to share?
Well, the way that I kind of approach that is, you know, hey, this is an opportunity not only for us to shine a light on who you are, but this is an opportunity for you to position yourself as a thought leader or an industry expert within your space, within your category. I mean, I've seen this happen where folks who are maybe at the controller level get involved in our advocacy program, and then their name is included in the press release, they get their name included in the case study, et cetera, et cetera. And this is all great material that they can use to help build their personal brand, to help build their career, right? So, you know, I don't want to make it all about me and about what we want. I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by the customer, and we're allowing them and enabling them and giving them a platform to have their voice be heard.
Sometimes I know in sales that there's a negotiation in which if they ask for something from you, you can then offer that, but in exchange, you would want to have them on a press release, in a press release, or do a case study. Is that part of how you also get stories?
Yeah, you know, I try to stay away from that because I want to make sure that people are participating of their own volition or of their own accord, not simply because it's something that was stated in a contract. I have worked for companies where there's standard text in the contract that says, to the effect, we can publicly announce that you're one of our customers. We can put your logo on our website. We can write a case study about you, or include your name in a press release. And I've seen that work, and I've seen it not work. I've seen it where maybe the implementation didn't go well, or the customer satisfaction is very low. And the last thing you want to do is have somebody's name or somebody's logo on your website, which a prospect could see and then reach out to that customer, what we call a backdoor reference, and ask about that customer's experience, only to find out that it's a negative experience and it wouldn't necessarily be a customer we would want to put in front of a prospect.
Right. Well, how about giving them some kind of gift cards or some kind of loyalty points to spend on things that they like, you know, small items?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do. So we launched a program about 2 years ago, which is built on a software application called Influitive. If you haven't heard of Influitive, I highly recommend that you and your audience go check it out. So basically, it's a private community for your customers. You invite them, and then you serve them up opportunities, which are called challenges. And these challenges can be anything from, you know, tell us where you like to go on your summer vacation, to tell us how you're using the product, or, you know, one way that you're using it that maybe it wasn't originally intended for. You know, there's all sorts of ways to sort of gather information about your customer's experience. So for each of these challenges that a customer participates in, they earn points. And these points have a dollar amount attached to each one of them. And so once they've earned enough points, they can redeem those points for things like gift cards or swag, or maybe discount for training, or a discount to your annual customer conference. So yeah, we're definitely incentivizing our customers to be involved in our sales and marketing opportunities.
Andrew, I want to ask about diversity and inclusion. Given that your role is to interview a lot of clients, the speakers, I know traditionally you probably have a lot of older white gentlemen as speakers. Are you purposely trying to make sure there is a bit more diversity in the speakers?
Yeah, absolutely. What I've noticed in working in the high-tech space, and primarily in the financial space, is that, yeah, historically, if you look at the About Us page on a B2B, you know, software or tech website, historically you would see a lot of older white gentlemen that were in positions of at the C-suite level. And slowly but surely, what I've noticed is that there's been more diversity that I've seen. Slowly but surely, we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm seeing that there's more people of color and more women that are represented in positions of leadership across you know, tech and business software sites. So our goal is always to try to capture a broad spectrum of voices, and it's becoming easier and easier, because I've noticed that you know, more controllers, more CFOs are women and people of color. And so we want to talk to people who can tell their story about using our software. And it just so happens that now it's becoming more people of color and women that are in those positions. So yeah, so we also, when we capture those stories, specifically of women, I make sure to notify my boss, who launched a program called Women in Tech. And so she's been busy over the last couple of years interviewing women about how they're using our software, but also about their story, their background, their upbringing, how they got involved in tech, or how they got involved in finance. And so she's done a great job of promoting that and getting a lot of attention, positive attention around capturing those stories and those voices.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, we need more representation, and we need stories to inspire others. So last question for you. What are you looking forward to doing? What's exciting ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's exciting for me is that I've noticed there's more attention and more eyes and more people thinking about how do we launch a customer advocacy, customer reference program. I mean, I can tell you, 10 years ago, the role that I have was a nice to have. It wasn't a must have. And what I'm seeing is that more and more companies are realizing that this is actually a must have. So it's been great to see an influx of, the next generation of customer marketing and advocacy folks. And they're coming with some really great ideas. And so I'm seeing a diversification in terms of strategies around how we work with our customers, how we get in front of our customers, different opportunities to tell their stories. I mean, I think specifically, I'm excited about the technology. I'm excited about automating what were very manual processes. I'm excited about thinking more strategically as opposed to just reacting tactically. And so I'm really amazed at what's coming and what people are doing and the technology and tools that we're using.
So Andrew, thank you so much for being on the show to talk about customer marketing. I know you've been doing it for years, and your tips are great to hear. Appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you, Jessica. It's a passion. It's something I love to do. I can't imagine doing anything else, and I just feel grateful that I get to do this every day, and I get to work with customers, and I work for an amazing company. I love my coworkers, and I think there is going to be, this role is going to continue to gain momentum, and I'm excited about the future.
There you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Andrew Sevillia from Sage Intacct.